Despite often having linear stories, Assassin's Creed is at its core an open world game, and with that comes an expectation that the worlds themselves are built to be explored and enjoyed. Of course, Assassin's Creed in particular also has the unique aspect of being set in historical settings, providing entirely unique and different experiences with every single game. But of course, like all things in the series, there's some that are great and some that are terrible. So today, let's look at the top 5 best Assassin's Creed worlds. Before we do begin, it would be really appreciated if you could hit like, and if you're new here, make sure to subscribe with post notifications turned on. At number 5, we have Assassin's Creed Unity's Paris, which is one of the most detailed worlds that we have ever seen in the series. Although of course, like all things in Unity, it is held back by the functionality of the game, the one-to-one recreation of Paris that Ubisoft created is absolutely stunning and stuffed to the brim with detail. Being the first game in the series with openly explorable interiors, each of which feels unique in every single setting, as well as historical landmarks that are pinpoint accurate, both on the outside and the inside. I mean, literally one person spent a year designing the Notre Dame Cathedral in that game. Not only is Paris beautiful, but it's also functional, as the tightly packed cities lends itself excellently to the parkour system, and the crowds down below lend themselves perfectly to social stealth. On top of all that, the world is also filled with content, with the Café Theatre missions, the Nostradamus enigmas, the Paris stories, the murder mysteries, as well as of course the main content of the game, filling the world to the brim with things to do. Every single moment you spend in Paris is a breath of fresh air, and it is still one of the best worlds we've seen in the series since they switched to next gen back in 2014. Speaking of that switch to next gen, next up we have the Caribbean from Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, which differs from Paris in many a way. As opposed to a compact, small and detailed open world, Black Flag decided to expand out to create the biggest open world in the series we'd seen up to that point, with the huge sprawling oceans of the West Indies allowing for fantastic traversal through the world, fulfilling the pirate fantasy with content both in the water and on land, whether it be diving into the seven seas, hunting whales and sharks, or fighting off opposing ships. Whilst the sea has endless exploration opportunities, the lands also have unique and interesting aspects to them, with a lot of references to the Aztecs and the Mayans that form hidden mysteries that make for great puzzle content. There's countless islands to explore, animals to hunt, chests to find, sea shanties to find, and of course Templars to kill. And that's not to mention the forts and of course the main story content. You could explore the world of AC4 for hours on end and still not even scratch the surface of everything it has to offer. And on top of everything, it is also stunningly beautiful. Speaking of stunningly beautiful, at number 3 we have Ancient Egypt from Assassin's Creed Origins, which is one of, if not the most historically accurate worlds that we have seen put to this series. The level of detail in this recreation of the entire country of Egypt is absolutely ridiculous, as the atmosphere of nearly every single part of the world is pinpoint perfect, with the colonized cities of Alexandria feeling reminiscent of the European cities of the old games, and the Egyptian regions of Giza and Memphis providing an entirely different experience and atmosphere. Origins masterfully makes its world feel alive and breathing. It makes the different socio-political aspects of each region feel important, and it connects the world with Bayek's story, and with his feeling of his lost culture. On top of that, like the previous 2 entries, the world is stuffed to the brim with content, whether it be exploring pyramids and tombs, tearing down Ptolemy's influence, or building up the Brotherhood in side missions. And Origins also added the extra layer of the Discovery Tour, which even further highlights the historical accuracy of the world, and acts as a fantastic spiritual successor to the database system. And like every entry on this list, Egypt is absolutely gorgeous. At number 2 we have the Holy Land from Assassin's Creed 1, which is an absolute clinic in atmosphere and world building, as each major city of the Holy Land creates an entirely different feeling within the player, as the art styles and color grading of each city differs, giving each one a distinct character in itself. The entire world is built around the parkour system with claustrophobic streets and sprawling rooftops, and as the game's main story goes on, you can feel the world turn against you, as Altair truly feels like a lone wanderer against an entire city out to kill him. The art design, the level design, and the music all come together flawlessly to create a hostile feeling. A feeling which perfectly characterizes the world at the time, characterizes the Crusades, and characterizes Altair. This was a setting that had never truly been explored in the video games industry prior to this, and I think it is an absolute flawless rendition of what otherwise could have been a mildly boring setting. And last but not least, at number 1, we have Rome from Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, which takes all of the best aspects from every single world in the series and combines them together. Rome maintains the claustrophobic streets and the cramped rooftops of AC1 and 2 to create a fantastic parkour playground for the player. However, it's also a massive sprawling city akin to Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, and so allows for endless exploration. It has various distinct regions, just like Assassin's Creed Origins, that each have their own atmosphere and are affected by the socio-political climate of the time, and the impact of Cesare and the rest of the Borgia family is felt throughout the world, a feeling which is gradually, progressively lifted as Ezio rebuilds Rome, builds the Brotherhood, and liberates the city. The city is filled to the brim with both atmosphere and content, whether it be Leonardo da Vinci's war machines, the layers of Romulus, the Brotherhood missions, the Da Vinci disappearance, the Cristina Vespucci missions, the entire economy system. It is an absolute miracle that Ubisoft were able to craft this world only 9 months after Assassin's Creed 2 came out, and it's for that reason that in my opinion it is far and away the best world that we have seen in the entire series. But of course, as always, that is just my opinion, and I'm sure plenty of people will disagree with my opinion, so if you do or if you agree, let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit like, and if you're new here, make sure to subscribe with post notifications turned on. With all that being said, I've been Joe, aka Founder Scarab, and I will see you in the next one.